We are back, ladies and gentlemen. It is time for another Raw review. So let's dive right in and talk about it. The show began with Seth Rollins and Dominic Mysterio. Possibly the interesting about this is that Dominic got the absolutely hell kicked out of him. Seth Rollins and Buddy Murphy literally destroyed him with a kendo stick. They beat the ever-living snot out of him. And he had like scars all over his body and back. So that was probably the only interesting thing about that segment. So then we had Angelo Dawkins take on Andrade. And Angelo Dawkins would get the win with the cash out spine buster. And then we have Zelina Vega taking on the EST, Bianca Belair. I don't really understand the whole EST gimmick. Look, I know people view Bianca Belair as a star and all, but to me, she's just decent. To me, she's just decent in the ring. Sure, she's athletic. Sure, she's got the athletic ability, and sure, she looks like a star. But to me, I don't get the hype. Because if I was reviewing stuff back in 2015, early 2016, I would have said the exact same thing about Sasha Banks. I'll be honest with you guys. I wasn't a fan of Sasha at the start. I didn't think she was anything special. I thought people are just really overhyping this girl and she's not really going to turn out to be anything. Sure, I was proven wrong. I was proven wrong about Sasha in the end. So, Bianca Belair better step things up. She better prove me wrong that she is the star that people say she is. Right now, she hasn't really done anything to impress me. Even some of the stuff she did in NXT really didn't impress me. Sure, she's got strength and power, but I think that's really all she is. And I don't get the whole EST gimmick. She's putting the word EST at the end of every sentence, like roughest, toughest, fastest, and all this other stuff. Yeah, I may understand what it means, but I don't really understand it all that much. The fastest runner, or the toughest workout, something like that. But in the end, I don't really view Bianca as the star that people say she is. Maybe she'll prove me wrong. Maybe she'll prove me wrong in the end, and maybe she'll change my mind. But in the end, Bianca did win this match with the KOD on Zelina Vega. I want to see Zelina Vega more in the ring. I was more invested in Zelina Vega. Zelina is so good. She is so good. I don't want to see her. I don't want to see her as a manager anymore. I really want to see Zelina Vega get in the ring and wrestle. Did Zelina Vega poison Montez Ford? It probably most likely was her. At the end of the day, it probably was her. We had Apollo Crews crashing the VIP lounge. The VIP lounge is basically the Miz TV. We just see it every week now. Then we had Apollo Crews take on Shelton Benjamin. And for some reason they had Shelton Benjamin defeat Apollo Crews. I don't know why, but they did. What a way to treat your new United States, what a way to treat your US champ. I guess Shelton Benjamin really deserves the United States title shot instead of MVP. To be perfectly honest, that's exactly what we should be getting at SummerSlam. We should be getting Shelton Benjamin versus Apollo Crews. Shelton Benjamin pinned the United States champion. All MVP has done is whine, cry, and bitch and moan for a United States title match. I only lost last week because of the lights. Who cares? Like, really? What kind of excuses is that? Montel, I make a lot of excuses. That Montel, I make excuses Porter should be his name. And we had the Viking Raiders, Ricochet and Cedric face Akira Tozawa and his ninjas. So stupid. Obviously, the Viking Raiders won with Ricochet and Cedric, and Akira Tozawa would lose his 24/7 title. 2 weeks of R-Truth not being the 24/7 champion. WWE just could not hack it anymore. Then we had Liv Morgan face Peyton Royce in a very quick match. After how the Iconics were treated last week, especially with Billie Kay, I don't think fans are ever going to take them seriously anymore. You have Billie Kay, who took no damage last week, and she was still able to lose to a roll-up. But then you have Peyton Royce winning this week. You can tell WWE really values Peyton Royce more than Billie Kay if they're treating Billie Kay as a girl that can't survive a freaking roll-up, and she's taken no damage. I think both Billie and Peyton are future women's champions. Even if Billie Kay only gets 1 championship run, it's better than nothing. And according to WWE.com, Peyton Royce's swinging neck breaker is called the Deja Vu. Yep. I am not kidding you. It actually says it here on WWE.com. It actually says it here. It actually says it right here. Royce connecting with the Deja Vu to pick up the win. No joke, that is what Peyton Royce's move is called. The Deja Vu. I can't tell you that I like that name. But at least it has a name, I guess. Then we had Raw Underground. We had Riddick Moss beat somebody. Didn't really care. And we had the best match of the night, Asuka versus Bayley. And Asuka would get the win with the tap out. Bayley would just straight up tap out. No shenanigans. It was just a straight tap out. And I want to tell everybody, this makes sense. We all know this makes perfect sense. Sorry about that, guys. I was just quickly checking something. This match was so good, it made sense for Asuka to win. I heard one person say that Asuka shouldn't face Sasha again. Look, and it was even telling me that Sasha is afraid. She didn't want to face Asuka. Well, let me tell you this. If Sasha Banks really didn't want to face Asuka, why didn't she say no? Last week, Asuka asked for a rematch, and Sasha Banks granted her rematch as long as she beats Bayley. You call that afraid? You call that someone who doesn't want to face Asuka? If she was afraid and she didn't want to face Asuka, she should have just said, "No, Asuka, I'm not giving you your rematch." That is called not wanting to face Asuka. Telling Asuka to face Bayley and beat my friend isn't I am afraid. Asuka winning this match made total sense. I don't care what people say. This made sense. I can't believe there's even a single person out there that actually believes Bayley should have beaten Asuka here. probably all going to lead to Sasha Banks losing the Raw Women's Championship, but we don't know. Then we had more Raw Underground stuff. To be perfectly fair, I didn't care about all this. We had some new guy make his way in. We had some Babatunde guy. And they even had Shayna Baszler in there. So, yeah. Good, I hope Shayna Baszler stays in Raw Underground and stays far away from the Raw Women's Championship. Shane McMahon should create a Raw Underground Championship. Shayna Baszler can win that, and she can hold that for 400 days. As long as she's away from the Raw Women's Championship, she can stay there. She can stay in Raw Underground for the rest of the year. Keep Shayna Baszler there. I would appreciate that. Shane. Keep having Shayna Baszler on your Raw Underground. I would rather her there than competing for the Raw Women's Championship. Thank you very much. Retribution once again destroyed the Performance Center. Wasn't as good as what happened on SmackDown, but yes, these guys are really recognition of Nexus. Then we had Randy Orton face Kevin Owens in the main event. Randy Orton would walk away with the win with the RKO. And then the thinkable happened. WWE called it the unthinkable. WWE.com says that Randy Orton does the unthinkable. And to me, it is the thinkable. To me, it is the thinkable. I knew Randy Orton was going to betray Ric Flair. I knew he was going to turn on Ric Flair at some point. I'm not stupid. Randy Orton just turns on Ric Flair. Ric Flair tells Randy Orton that he didn't want John Cena to break Ric Flair's 16 World Time Championship reign. He says he wants Randy Orton to break it. So all the people that think Ric Flair wanted John Cena to break it, he's just straight up admitted that he didn't want John Cena to break it. He wanted Randy Orton to break the record. So there you go. He just said he wanted Randy Orton to do it. And then Randy Orton turns on Ric Flair, punches him right in his flares, and punt kicks him. So I wonder if we're gonna get Randy Orton versus Charlotte Flair now. Charlotte Flair returns to get revenge on Randy Orton at WrestleMania next year. WrestleMania 37, a match you would never see. Charlotte Flair versus Randy Orton for the WWE Championship. Imagine that. Maybe not for the WWE Championship. That's just a little over-exaggerating. But that would be pretty funny to see Charlotte Flair versus Randy Orton. Charlotte Flair wants revenge for what happened to her father. That would be pretty funny. I think Randy Orton should win the WWE Championship. There is no way you're going to have Randy Orton punt people like Edge, punt people like Christian, punt The Big Show, and punt Ric Flair. You can't have him punt all these people and then he goes down to a Claymore. I think Randy Orton walks away as the WWE Champion. Listen. I know people want to see Drew McIntyre remain as champion. But remember, Naomi was given the exact same amount of length as champion. Yes, this happened in 2017. She won the championship at Mania and she lost it at SummerSlam. To me, being the champion from WrestleMania to SummerSlam is a good championship reign. It is a great championship run. But it also depends on who you face. I don't consider Naomi's run a good one because of how many times she had to face Lana. Drew McIntyre, on the other hand, he's faced Seth Rollins. He's faced Dolph Ziggler. He's faced other opponents. He's faced different people. And yes, obviously, if Randy wins the title, he's going to defend it against Edge. And yes, I don't want that. I don't want Edge anywhere near the WWE Championship. But I'm saying, I think Randy Orton wins just because of how much momentum that he is putting on here. But anyway, guys, that is all I've got for yous. Hit that thumbs up. Comment down below. Like and subscribe. And I'll see you all next time.